After months of brutal conflict, a glimmer of hope has emerged in the Russia-Ukraine war. The relentless fighting has left cities in ruins and countless lives shattered. But now there is a chance for a pause in the violence. The United States, in a surprise move, has proposed a 30-day ceasefire between the warring nations. This initiative aims to create a window for diplomatic efforts and humanitarian aid to reach those in dire need. This proposal, a significant development in the year-long conflict, offers a potential, albeit temporary, reprieve from the violence that has gripped the region. It is a moment of cautious optimism for many who have endured the horrors of war. Ukraine, eager for a path towards peace, has accepted the proposal. The Ukrainian government sees this as a crucial step towards ending the bloodshed and rebuilding the nation. However, the ceasefire remains precarious, hinging on Russia's response and commitment to de-escalation. The international community is watching closely, aware that any misstep could reignite the conflict. The world watches with bated breath, as the proposed ceasefire represents a pivotal moment in the conflict. It is a rare opportunity for both sides to step back and reconsider their positions. It presents a crucial opportunity for both sides to step back from the brink and engage in meaningful dialogue. The hope is that this ceasefire can serve as a foundation for more comprehensive peace talks. The success of this ceasefire, however, remains uncertain, contingent upon the willingness of both parties to lay down arms and engage in good faith negotiations. The trust must be built and past grievances addressed. The road to peace is fraught with challenges, and the deep-seated mistrust between Russia and Ukraine casts a long shadow over the ceasefire. Both sides have much to lose and much to gain. The international community, particularly European nations directly impacted by the conflict, has cautiously welcomed the proposal. They understand the stakes and the potential ripple effects of a lasting peace. They recognize the potential for this ceasefire to pave the way for a more durable peace agreement. The hope is that this temporary truce can lead to a more permanent resolution. However, skepticism remains high given the numerous failed attempts at ceasefires in the past. The memories of broken promises and renewed hostilities are still fresh in the minds of many. The world waits to see if this time will be different, if this fragile truce can hold and provide the foundation for a lasting peace in the war-torn region. The hopes and prayers of millions rest on this delicate moment. If you believe in the power of peace and want to support efforts towards a lasting resolution, please share this video and use the hashtag #PeaceForUkraine. Your voice can make a difference. The United States, in a significant policy shift, has taken on the role of mediator in the Russia-Ukraine conflict, aiming to bring both parties to the negotiating table and foster a dialogue that could lead to a lasting peace. This move comes after a period of strained relations between the US and Ukraine, marked by a public disagreement between President Zelensky and former President Trump, which had cast a shadow over diplomatic relations and cooperation. However, recent diplomatic efforts, including high-level talks in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, have signaled a thaw in relations and a renewed commitment from the US to finding a peaceful resolution. These talks have been instrumental in rebuilding trust and setting the stage for more comprehensive negotiations. As part of this renewed engagement, the US has pledged to resume military aid and intelligence sharing with Ukraine, providing crucial support that could change the dynamics on the ground. These vital resources had been previously suspended due to political complexities within the US administration, which had led to a significant gap in Ukraine's defense capabilities. The resumption of aid is seen as a crucial step in bolstering Ukraine's defense capabilities and strengthening its position in any future negotiations with Russia. This support is expected to enhance Ukraine's ability to defend itself and negotiate from a position of strength. This shift in US policy underscores a recognition of the growing global implications of the conflict, which has far-reaching consequences for international stability and security. The war in Ukraine has destabilized the region, created a humanitarian crisis, and raised concerns about a wider conflict. The human toll has been immense, with countless lives disrupted and communities torn apart. The US, recognizing its responsibility as a global power, has stepped in to try and de-escalate the situation and find a peaceful solution. This involvement is seen as a critical effort to prevent further escalation and promote stability. The success of the US mediation efforts remains to be seen as the complexities of the conflict present significant challenges. However, the resumption of aid to Ukraine and the direct engagement with both Russia and Ukraine demonstrate a serious commitment to finding a peaceful resolution to the conflict. This commitment is a hopeful sign for the future. The coming days and weeks will be crucial in determining whether these efforts will bear fruit as the world watches closely and hopes for a breakthrough in this protracted conflict. For more of this kind of content, consider subscribing to my channel. Russia's response to the proposed ceasefire has been a mixture of calculated ambiguity and continued aggression. This dual approach has left many international observers puzzled and concerned about the true intentions behind Russia's actions. While the Kremlin has not officially rejected the ceasefire, its actions speak louder than words. The mixed signals from Moscow have created an atmosphere of uncertainty and mistrust, making it difficult for diplomatic efforts to gain traction. Hours after Ukraine's acceptance, Russia launched fresh air attacks on Kyiv and Kharkiv, sending a chilling message about their commitment to de-escalation. These attacks have not only caused significant damage, but also heightened fears among the civilian population. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov stated that Russia is awaiting detailed information from the US regarding the ceasefire proposal. This statement, however, has done little to alleviate concerns, as actions on the ground continue to contradict diplomatic rhetoric. However, the continued attacks on Ukrainian cities suggest a reluctance to fully engage with the peace process. The destruction and loss of life have only deepened the resolve of the Ukrainian people to resist. This ambiguous stance could be an attempt to buy time, assess the situation, and potentially extract concessions from Ukraine and the West. By keeping their options open, Russia may be trying to maintain a strategic advantage. Adding to the uncertainty, Russian lawmaker Konstantin Kosachev suggested that any agreements would be on Russian terms. This assertion underscores the Kremlin's desire to dictate the terms of any potential settlement. This statement indicates that Russia may be using the ceasefire proposal as leverage to advance its own strategic objectives, potentially including territorial concessions from Ukraine. The implications of such a move could have far-reaching consequences for regional stability. Russia's internal dynamics further complicate the situation. The interplay between different factions within the Russian government and society creates a complex web of motivations and pressures. Public opinion, while initially supportive of the war, has begun to shift as the conflict drags on and economic sanctions bite. The economic hardships faced by ordinary Russians are starting to erode support for the government's actions. War fatigue and the growing human cost are putting pressure on the Kremlin to find a way out. The humanitarian crisis is becoming increasingly difficult to ignore, both domestically and internationally. However, pro-war hardliners within Russia remain a powerful force, opposing any concessions and pushing for a continuation of the conflict. Their influence cannot be underestimated in shaping Russia's approach to the ceasefire. This internal struggle within Russia adds another layer of complexity to the already volatile situation. The outcome of this power struggle will likely have significant implications for the future of the conflict and the prospects for peace. The Kremlin finds itself walking a tightrope, balancing the demands of pro-war hardliners against the growing discontent among the Russian populace. The economic repercussions of the war, coupled with the mounting casualties, have fueled a sense of war fatigue among ordinary Russians. This growing discontent poses a challenge for Putin, who has staked his political capital on the success of the special military operation in Ukraine. Pro-war voices, often amplified by state-controlled media, continue to advocate for a full-scale victory, dismissing any talk of concessions as weakness. These hardliners, with considerable influence within the Russian power structure, present a formidable obstacle to any peaceful resolution. They view the ceasefire as an opportunity for Ukraine to regroup and resist Russian advances, rather than a genuine step towards peace. The Kremlin must carefully calibrate its response, weighing the potential benefits of a ceasefire against the risk of alienating its base and emboldening domestic opposition. A prolonged conflict, while serving the interests of the hardliners, could further erode public support and destabilize Putin's grip on power. The ceasefire presents a critical juncture for Russia. It offers a chance to de-escalate the conflict, address the concerns of its citizens, and potentially salvage its international standing. However, it also carries the risk of appearing weak, emboldening domestic opposition, and ultimately failing to achieve its objectives in Ukraine. For more of this kind of content, consider subscribing to my channel. In the midst of rising tensions, the decision to pursue peace was nothing short of a high-stakes gamble. Leaders from all sides knew the risks, but the potential rewards were too great to ignore. As negotiations began, there was a palpable sense of both hope and apprehension in the air. Every word, every gesture could tip the scales towards either lasting peace or renewed conflict. It was a delicate dance requiring patience, understanding, and, above all, trust. The world watched with bated breath, hoping that this gamble would pay off and bring an end to the hostilities. In the end, it was a testament to human resilience and the enduring desire for harmony. As the ceasefire takes hold, there is a sense of cautious optimism. Many hope that this truce will pave the way for lasting peace. Yet the memories of past conflicts linger, making everyone wary of what lies ahead. The question remains, will this ceasefire truly hold? The ceasefire has not only local but also international implications. European nations in particular are closely monitoring the situation. They are concerned about the stability of the region and the potential for a resurgence of violence. The international community is keenly aware that peace in this area affects global security. Despite the ceasefire, pockets of conflict persist. Some factions refuse to lay down their arms, driven by deep-seated grievances and mistrust. The road to peace is fraught with challenges, and the conflict's underlying issues remain unresolved. The struggle continues even in the face of a fragile truce. The future of the ceasefire is uncertain. Will it lead to a lasting peace? Or is it merely a temporary lull in the violence? The coming days and weeks will be crucial in determining the outcome. All eyes are on the region as the world waits to see if this ceasefire can hold and bring about a new era of stability. Stay informed and join the conversation. Subscribe to our channel for the latest updates on the situation in Ukraine.